With the air, like I don't care, baby, by the way. Because I'm happy. Clap along if you feel like a room without a roof. Because I'm happy. Clap along if you feel like happiness is the truth. Because I'm happy. Clap along if you know what happiness is to you. Because I'm happy. Clap along if you feel like that's what you want to do. Here come bad news, talking this and that. Give me all you got, don't hold it back. Well, I should probably warn you, I'll be just fine. No offense to you, don't waste your time. Here's why. Because I'm happy. Clap along if you feel like a room without a roof. Because I'm happy. Clap along if you feel like happiness is the truth. Because I'm happy. Clap along if you know what happiness is to you. Because I'm happy.
Powering off.
Good morning for Veterans Council, Veterans, LinkedIn, and Facebook fans. Whoa, it is a Tuesday, and it's the VCV CEO update, and I've got a lot to share. First of all, I hope all of you guys out there and ladies out there had a great, happy Valentine's. Happy Valentine's was yesterday. My wife always says that Valentine is a federal holiday, a hell of a holiday, but she found out after working that it's not a holiday, but we had a really good time celebrating the Valentine and our 20th Valentine. So hope you guys had a great Valentine. This particular update here is going to be interesting and informative. We're going to talk about some suicide. There has been a tremendous amount of increase in suicide, not just for veterans, but for first responders, celebrities, you name it. It crosses all socioeconomic status when it comes to suicide. No one's really talking about that, but we need to talk about that. Then we're going to talk about what's going on with Veterans Council, veterans, and the families. Families. My belief is that strengthen the families, strengthen the veterans. But until then, it's time for the intro. Hello, guys. How you doing? This is the time for a VCV update for 2022. And I tell you what, we have not slowed down. In fact, we took it up a notch. And you'll see some of the things we're doing right now to make sure that we can still continue to provide support for veterans and their families. Our number one mission is to actually support veterans and families suicide prevention. And you notice all the events that we do will always have a tie to preventing veteran suicide and also involving the families as well. One thing I do want to talk about is, I think it's very important is that we have not spent as much time when it comes to suicide. Suicide. I mean, there has been such an increase in suicide. It crosses the spectrum. There's an increase in veteran suicide, actually military suicide. It starts in Alaska. They had a big spike in Texas, and not only that, but we also event where there was a suicide for veterans. It was like a dual suicide that came from the veteran side of the house, not the veteran, but military. There has been even an increase when it comes to suicide for the first responders. We had like 3 suicides last year in our area for the first responders. One of them was dual. One was a husband and a wife that had a 1-month-old and died of suicide. So we need to get a handle on the suicide. And I'm not really hearing much about from our people who are there to support us. I'm not hearing it from congressmen. I'm not hearing it from state representatives. I'm not hearing from anybody. I'm not hearing from Florida Department of Veteran Affairs. I'm not hearing from the county. I'm not hearing from the federal government. I'm not hearing from nobody. But you know what? Suicides are increasing. We need to start putting the priorities on that, or it just will continue to increase. It's not something you can look away and no one's going to know about or care about it. So definitely suicide. I wanted to mention that as well, the suicide piece. And for some of you guys out there who already know as well, one of the things the Veterans Council of Veterans doing with NAACP, we're honoring our African-American veterans for Black History Month. And I feel that, that's something that really for us to sit there and introduce some of the African-American veterans who have made a significant contribution to the military while they served. We did one for General Carabinero. She was the first Army nurse that received the rank of general as a reserve. We did one also for Gunnery Sergeant Audrey McDade, who actually received the Navy Cross, only one of two African Americans that have actually has also received that. And the next one we're going to be doing is we're going to be doing a Mumford Point Marines, but we'll talk about that later on. Also, what I want to talk about is coming up is that what are the new events that we're actually looking at for Veterans Council Veterans this year, 2022. One of them is families. One of our mottos is strengthen the families, strengthen the veterans. And how are we doing that? Well, we're going to do that with our new program we got coming out. It's called the Veterans Families Mental Wellness Matters program, and one of them involves workshops. We're going to have our workshops starting the end of the 28th of February and the 1st of March. This workshop is totally dedicated to the families of veterans and the friends of veterans, not just the veteran itself, because they need strength again. Like I said earlier, strengthen the veterans, strengthen the families. And this is also one of the keys of preventing suicide. If you strengthen the families, strengthen relationships, you will definitely see a reduction when it comes to suicide. So we had to change the location. We got a call from the Hillsborough County saying COVID. And so we had to change it, and we now have a new location, which is American Legion Post 5, 3810 West Kennedy Boulevard here in Tampa, or virtually Zoom. Let me know if you're interested in the Zoom. So register on Eventbrite. We only got like 8 tickets left. We only reserved 35 because we want to make sure that the people who come will get the attention they need. Is not some big mass thing here. So we got a limited amount of seats. We only got like 8 seats maybe that's available. So share. If you register or share, you want to find out where it's at, just go to Eventbrite and put down Veterans Family Mental Wellness Workshop, and it'll come up and register. We only got a week, like 8-9 days left, so definitely register for that event. I definitely want to introduce our presenters. The primary presenter is Amy Otto, who is a retired Army, a combat veteran, a licensed mental health counselor, and she's really put a lot of work in this. I can't wait to see how this works out as well. And then secondly, Stephanie Sims, Air Force, retired Air Force. Her and both of us are both retired Air Force, a licensed mental health counselor, and also one of our, who's been there for years, Jean Gautreau, licensed clinical social worker, and also Air Force. They will be our presenters, and so I'm really excited about that. I hope we get a chance to be part of this. Again, like I said, once again, strengthen the family, strengthen the veteran. We have a Veteran Family Matters Mental Wellness Workshop. Our first event will be on the 28th of February, not too long, 2 months from now, 20th of February at American Legion Post 5. Thank you for the American Legion support for American Legion. I also want to give a shout out to some of our sponsors. They want to shout out for Concerned Veterans America. They're going to help provide some of the food that's there. I want to give a big shout out to American Legion, both Post 5 and also the state. They have really supported, and definitely Project Beverly. They've really provided support for our Veterans Council of Veterans. And finally, with Dr. Carlos Garcia with the Tampa Wellness. Thank you for your sponsor and providing us donations. So we cannot do this without funds. That's a reality I learned when I came to the nonprofit world. Can't do this without funds. You cannot reach out people you need without funding. So definitely reach out. Donations are definitely just whatever minimum you can give it. I guarantee you, it's not going toward us. It's going to reaching out to the families and stuff and the veterans that we claim we care about. So that's what I wanted to make sure we talked about before I end on this update. We're gonna, as I mentioned before, one of the things we're also co-sponsoring is the Black History Month for this whole month. We're introducing to the community, all the contributions that African Americans have done while serving. And I almost forgot, we're going to be at Veterans Council of Veterans. We'll be at the Synapse. The Synapse having the big convention on Thursday, 17th. We'll be there. I'm our exhibition booth. Come by, say hi to me, say hi to Mary. Mary's going to be here. Mary Morse is going to be there. So I had to say hi to Lisa and just get a chance to be out there and meet and see what Veterans Council is doing for the community. That's a Synapse Summit down at the Amelia Stadium on the 17th. I think it's 16th, 17th. We'll be there on the 17th. So definitely go there. Be there for that. So finally, before we leave, I want to give a quick 1-minute click on the Mumford Point Marines.
In the concrete of Marine Corps history. The recognition they deserve for their sacrifices, though, has been a long time coming. The Corps' first black enlistees, known as the Montford Point Marines, faced years of racial bigotry and segregation during their enlistments. But, like all Marines, they overcame, proving themselves on both the battlefield and later in their civilian lives. Retired First Sergeant William McDowell is one of thousands who trained at the small, segregated North Carolina camp.
I never saw so many raggedy, crazy, sweaty people in all my life in one spot. It was controlled mayhem.
70 years after the first black recruit passed through the gates of Montford Point, McDowell's accepting the Congressional Gold Medal on behalf of almost 19,000 Marines who trained there between 1942 and 1949.
It's awesome. I never expected in my lifetime for anything like this to happen.
About 400 of the Montford Point Marines made the trip to attend the ceremony in Washington, D.C., bringing long-due recognition to true trailblazers of civil rights and equality.
These giants, the few, the proud, the Montford Point Marines.
From Washington, I'm Lance Corporal John Tucker.
Yeah, I felt that was important to do, especially during this time of divisiveness and for Black History Month. I thought it was important that we sit there and find out who had a niche in history. And a Montford Point Marine who achieved the Congressional Gold Medal thanks to the big push of Joe Geter. I think it needs to be talked about. We need to know about him. I know a lot of people out there saying, why does race matter? All I see is green. Well, as a veteran, that's not true. In the military world, it's about green, but when you step out in the veteran world, it's not. And we need to see where some positive things where lots of people have contributed, from the African American, from the women veterans, to the Hispanic veterans, to the gays, the lesbian community, all contributed. We all served, and we're just giving that one highlight of how they serve. And that's what we're trying to do with Veterans Council Veterans. We're not trying to be divisive. We're just trying to be inclusive and recognizing the events that occurred. So, until then, you saw a lot. I don't want to keep you guys too long, too long. So don't forget about our event. The Veterans Counseling Veterans are doing our Veterans Family Matters Mental Wellness Workshop, the 28th of February, 1st of March at the Barrack Legion Post 5. Sign up, register, and share. Until then, this is Tony Williams from Veterans Council Veterans for your VCV update. See you then.